Welcome to Best Life Practices, Life Expansion Coaching. My name is Carl Latting, also known as the Lifestyle Architect. What this show is going to be about and who it's for are people who are ready to break out of the constraints that society, family, the world has placed on you. The fact of the matter is that you were created for a purpose, and you are here or should be on a mission and looking to achieve a purpose. If that's you, and if you know that, yet you've kind of been going along to get along, where you get up and you go through the same routine, you go to this job where maybe there's something about it that you like. Maybe you're good at it, or you've become good at it over time, but there's something in you that you know that if you were doing that thing, especially if you were doing it full time, that you would be fulfilled, that you would feel like you were doing what you were called to do. And not only that, that you would be expressing who you really are. I heard a long time ago that when there is, and this is just a cliche, a myth, that kind of thing, but somebody said that when there's a problem in the world, that the way that that problem gets addressed is that a child is born. And within that child, their DNA is an answer to whatever is ailing society or the earth or a problem. The issue is that how few times does that actual solution make it to society or to the surface or to be able to fix that problem, usually because as soon as we get into our schooling and we start learning what society is expecting from us, where we know that the school system is kind of designed for worker bees, meaning that they want you to remember and jam things into your short-term memory, but not to really think. And so there's the bell system where they ring these bells and then your class starts. They ring another bell and class stops. And then you're kind of socialized or accustomed to being able to work on a factory floor and just kind of take orders. And I contend that each and every one of us was put here for way more than that. That is a system that basically not only misuses, but it suppresses the skills, talents, abilities that if we were all clicking on all cylinders and expressing who we really are, that the world, the earth, everything would be such a better place. Obviously, that's a tall order and a lot to ask from every living person. However, there are some people like myself and maybe like you who are at a point that you just can't take it anymore. I'm working a 9 to 5 and it meets some of my needs because there's enough flexibility for me to do even what I'm doing right now. I'm a consultant, a trainer. I deal in what we call employee development, also leadership management training. And so there's room for me to be able to do this because what I found out in what I do is that no matter what the management competencies are, what the tools, concepts, techniques are that we teach, they're only as effective as the individual who is using them. And so that's going to vary from person to person. And so what I'm looking to do through an organization that I've founded called Best Life Practices is to be able to take a step back. Instead of teaching the tools and the competencies to lead teams and manage other people and projects, let's back up and first learn to lead ourselves. First be able to learn and manage who we are and our own lives, because that is what's going to make us effective when you put the new tool in my hand. Not only that, let's jump to a quote here that really kind of got my fire going, where I said, look, no more, enough is enough. It's time to get started. Here is the quote. This is from somebody I love to follow, a guy named Alex Hormozi. And this is the quote that he said or that he had. It goes on to say that One moment, let me find it. Here we go. He says, every man becomes an infinitely more dangerous version of themselves the moment they realize they don't need anyone's approval or permission. What does that mean to you? I know what it meant to me. It kind of shined the light on the fact that I have been so constrained by other people's feelings, other people's thoughts. Am I going to be accepted? Will I be shunned? That kind of thing. However, when we realize that we were born with a purpose and that God, for me, is giving me vision about who I am and what I can become and how the kingdom is kind of opening up to me. And when I say the kingdom, I'm talking about the kingdom of heaven, right? Meaning that there is a kingdom that is in existence right now, even though I live on earth, but I'm a dual citizen. And as I can look into the kingdom and see who I really am, then what I'm looking to do is express that on a day-to-day basis here on earth, because it's that expression that's going to allow me to be able to fulfill my calling. And so what I did was this. I followed some advice from Wes Watson, who has a quote where he says, you need to create the best possible version of the man that you respect and admire, and then become him and offer him to the world, right? And so what I did was I took a big piece of flip chart paper, and on the top of it, I wrote two words. On one side, king, on the other side, priest. As a Christian, what Jesus has done for us, Yeshua HaMashiach, if you want to use his Aramaic name, what he's done for us is he's made us both kings and priests. The scripture says that we've been translated out of darkness into this marvelous light, and we're part of this royal priesthood. And so if I'm a king, if I'm a priest in the kingdom, I have to express that on a day-to-day basis on earth. And what I recognize, because I've been constrained by what I thought other people thought of me, that I had not been doing that. So back to the Wes Watson exercise, what I had on there was king and priest. Under that, I had physical, mental, spiritual. So on the physical side, I said, look, I'm 6'3". I'd like to be 230 pounds. I'm currently 225. I want to be down to 7% body fat. I'm about 16% right now. I want to bench press 375 pounds, squat 405 pounds. Neither one of those am I really close to. I only squat about 315, 335 right now, a ways to go. Then I said, this king that I am is always going to be well-groomed. Not only that, always going to be pleasantly fragrant, going to be well-dressed. As a friend of mine named Sweet Lou Collins said, he used an acronym that said LNSU, which stood for Leave No Stone Unturned when it comes to your image. Also, he has erect posture. Then when it came to the mental side, that this king and this priest, he's focused. He's mission or purpose driven. He's biased towards action, decisive, secure in who he is, sure and confident, unbothered by the opinions of others, creative, bold, fearless, and lives by faith. So when we think about that and that version of me, am I that guy right now? In some respects, but there's a way to go. And so there's a concept called autosuggestion. If you've ever read the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, he talks about it there. And if you follow him on YouTube, that kind of thing, he refers to it as being able to rewire your subconscious. That the subconscious has one job, which is to keep you alive. And so he kind of functions in today's society as we look to succeed as kind of like this little mental terrorist who's always trying to get you not to expend too much energy. Because as you expend energy, well, that arcs toward you being depleted and potentially in one shape or form, as far as the subconscious is concerned, you can get hurt or die. And so when your alarm goes off in the morning, that mental terrorist says, hey, why don't you hit snooze? Let's relax and sleep some more. When you are getting ready to embark on an endeavor that might require some risk, it says to yourself, well, hey, we're fine. Do we really need to do that now? Do we need to do that today? And so we have to speak to our subconscious about who we actually are. According to Napoleon Hill, the subconscious only responds to dominance, to certainty, and to authority. And if you are not certain and authoritative with your subconscious in terms of letting yourself know who you are, it won't take you seriously. And so what I'm embarking upon over the next 3 months is an aggressive rewiring of my subconscious. I want to be a real life action hero, superhero, that when people see me physically, that my body is my business card, that when they stand close to me, that they say, wow, that guy smells good, that guy is put together, that the diction, the syntax, the way that I speak, that people say, he's somebody that we should listen to. And so that's the guy I'm putting together. That's the king and the priest that I want to offer to the world. And I would like for you to follow along with me on this journey. As a matter of fact, I would like for you to become a part of it. I will be launching a coaching series in probably about 60 days. Between now and then, anybody who wants to join, come on, meet me here. I'll be posting videos probably a couple times a week. I'll be holding free classes and workshops once a week, and we'll be dealing with 5 critical aspects of this whole process or the coaching framework that I'm going to use. And it's basically going to be under the umbrella of definiteness of purpose or precision of purpose, that we are accurate in terms of what our purpose is and what our mission is while we live. Then we're going to deal with clarity. I'm going to walk you through how we get clear on what our next step is, because we tend to live in the future or in the past. When we're living in the future, we're worried. When we're living in the past, many times we're regretful or upset if things didn't go a certain way. We have to be present and live right now. So clarity is about what I'm going to do right now that's going to advance me becoming or expressing who I really am and getting closer to whatever it is my mission is in terms of being fulfilled there. After clarity, there's going to be identity, because it's not how we're going to do this, it's who is going to do it. Right believing creates right behavior. This is back to the exercise I just mentioned. When you develop the person that you respect and admire, and then you offer that person to the world, you have to create a person who's capable of fulfilling the mission that you have. Until you develop that person, then that thing is always going to be unfulfilled and left undone. So second, we'll deal with identity. That's going to be a phenomenal workshop. After that, we're going to deal with strategy. What's the plan? Planning is the stuff of kings. There is not one king or ruler of note that you can deal with historically who didn't, or who today is not known for the projects that they were able to complete, whether that was monuments, whether that was aqueducts, whether that was buildings, etc., you name it. There has to be a plan, a strategy for how we're going to get these things done. Planning, strategy, it has to become part of our lives. Then there's the execution. Execution is what I refer to as a bias towards action, but more than that, it's habits. It's the non-negotiable habits that we execute or we implement on a day-to-day basis. The life that you currently have, the life that I currently live, is a result of the habits that I do or perform on a day-to-day basis. So what we want to do in this workshop is analyze the current habits, take out the ones that are not serving us, include or institute the ones that are, and then begin to become facile and adept at doing these things and inculcating these into our daily routines to the extent that we're able to get the things done that we want to get done. And then finally, there's consistency, right? That if we keep doing it, then we're getting closer and closer. Not only that, we're getting better and better. For instance, this video, I can feel it right now. It's rough. I'm thinking out loud, but it's important to know that sometimes good is good enough. And what I mean by that, we can't let great be the enemy to good, because sometimes some of us are such perfectionists because we're thinking about what other people are going to say and what they're going to think, that we never start, or we keep going over and over and over again trying to get it perfect, and in the meantime it didn't have to be. Right? And so the final thing is being able to course correct, us being able to get the feedback from what we're doing. And if it's working, then continue. If it's not, then make whatever tweaks that we're going to make. However, when we are clear on who we are, when we know our mission and purpose, when we know this is the reason why we live and the consequences are too great not to move forward, then there is no quitting. I want you to meet me here. My name is Carl Latting, the lifestyle architect. I'm launching Best Life Practices is going to be the name of the organization, and I am happy that you are hearing this, if you are tuning in, or if you will end up subscribing sometime down the line. Whether you do, whether you don't, this is why I live. This is my mission. This is my purpose. I'll see you next time. Ciao.